Hello, thank you very much for coming back to our event today. We have another phenomenal speaker for you today. Her name is Juliana Passe. And Juliana is a great story to tell about clearing acne. And that's the topic for today. Clearing acne and everything that she's learned and what it's led to in her life in terms of overall health and purification of the body it's really an amazing story. So thank you, Juliana, for being with us today. And you're somewhat more than just somebody who cleared her own acne. You're a healer, I understand, a holistic educator and coach. Is that correct?
Yes, and many other things. Originally, I'm a musician. I started my whole life just dedicating it to music and the creation of music that heals. So I make music at 432 hertz.
Oh, yes, that's another very, very important thing. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's start off with your story, your amazing story, and how the actual, acne that you had blossomed into a whole career and healing and all kinds of healing.
It's funny because it's like the worst things that happen to us in life, the things that get us down the most, many oftentimes are the things that lead us to our greatest awakenings and greatest potentials. So that's exactly what happened with this. The benefit is now I have taken health into my own hands and I'm able to cure myself. I haven't gone to a doctor for over 8 years now, and I've been in the best health of my life since doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I started off when I was just a regular kid and I didn't know anything about health. My family was and still is kind of very unhealthy. We never really cooked food. I come from a Colombian background, so basically we would just eat steak and rice and just simple things like that. But mostly we would do takeout at McDonald's and Baskin Robbins, and that's what I grew up on. Horrible genetically modified food, glyphosates, all of it. So when I was around 12, 13 years old, out of nowhere, I just started getting really bad acne. And I went through years. I tried everything under the sun, every prescription, every topical, salmon facials, microdermabrasion, everything literally, and nothing cured it. And so I got so desperate, and it also feeds into your mental realm. It lowers your self-esteem.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be seen. It's just it really it affects you at a much deeper level than I think people are aware of, because you've got this thing just taking over your face. And so basically, I went on Accutane. And Accutane is like illegal in 50 countries. It's insane. If you get pregnant on it, your baby looks like an alien baby and it has to be aborted. So every month I took Accutane. I would have to get a pregnancy test, blood work. It can severely impact your liver in a negative way. But it's the only thing that they say permanently can remove acne, but nothing. That's why they say acne is incurable. So I took it 3 times and then it just came back stronger and stronger. So I realized that I had to go into my own hands and do my own research. And I ended up going into Teal Swan and I researched how to cure acne. And she was the one that gave me my answers. So I recommend, if you're struggling, to go and check out that link, Teal Swan, How to Cure Acne.
How do you spell that, Teal Swan?
Teal.
Okay.
One is SWAN.
Okay.
So she laid out in her video the amazing liver and gallbladder flush by Andreas Martis, who is this amazing man. He was a true healer of our time. He also died in strange ways. No coincidence there. All amazing, prolific healers that heal incurable diseases end up dying in strange and inconvenient ways. So basically, I had realized through doing good research that my liver, my gallbladder, and my kidneys were completely clogged with these toxic stones, and they're big stones. That's why when you pass kidney stones, that's what's happening. So when you eat a lot of processed foods that are natural, they go accumulating, and also alcohol, all of these other substances they go accumulating into these toxic stones, which are distorted information fields. So not only does it affect the physical realm, it also affects the spiritual and the emotional realm. It feeds into the depression, into the low self-esteem, into self-doubt, into isolation, into all of this stuff. So you basically, through the process, it took me about a year and a half. Once a month, I would do this flush, and it's like a natural at-home surgery. It's intensive. You've got to be very disciplined with it. And if you do one wrong move, it could be very painful, and also it can be counterconducive if you don't do it properly. So, and you've got to get colonics. You clean out your colon, and then you do the flush, and little by little it goes removing all these stones. Per each flush, I was probably releasing 1,000 to 2,000 stones. Like, so take that over about 18 months time. It's just astronomical, the amount of stones that I had in my body. Some of them were pretty big too. And in the colonics, because you have to clean your colon before and after the flush, so the stones don't get stuck in the crevices of your internal walls of your colon and your intestines. Because if that happens, they get reabsorbed into the bloodstream, and then that's really bad. You don't want that. So I did this, and over time, it was phenomenal. I had the most prolific healing of my life. My everything got cleared out. I have completely cured my acne, and not only that, I cured my depression. My self-esteem has gotten so much better. And also, I've been having a lot more mental clarity, a lot more energy. I sleep well. Everything just balanced itself out. Life just started getting so much better from that point on. So yes, that is a summation of the healing journey with acne. Are there any details that you would like me to go into?
Yeah, I think there's a few. For one thing, I agree with you about how horrible acne can be, not only from an appearance and not feeling comfortable, but it just begins to grind you down and depresses you. And this is where a lot of depression comes in with kids in their adolescence when they're having the acne problems. It certainly did with me. And I was on a scale of 1 to 10, I was maybe 4 or 5, with 10 being the worst. But it was enough to definitely make me emotionally weak, for years. And I have friends who were like a 9 or a 10, and it was horrible for them. And they were scarred for life too. They were not lucky like you are to find a cure that could keep you from being scarred.
And it scars your face for life many times too. Like the scarring is a whole nother thing.
Right. So that's good. So my real question, I think something you should mention to people, you were the kind of person that could go into detail and do this flush and everything that was required, and do it right. I mean, do you think that that's the case for everybody, or should people ask for coaching or an expert advice in this fasting arena?
Well, definitely, if you have coaching available, I would strongly recommend it, especially just for your first and second time, so that you get the gist of it. And then the thing is that when you start in the book, Andreas Martis, when you start, you don't want to finish until all the stones are out. So you don't want to do 4 flushes and then end there, because what happens is the stones that are coming, it's like the new ones come out and then the older ones remain. So you want to make sure to get them all out. Um, and
No, so you said something about colonics too while you're doing this. So you want to do colonics along with this, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So you always want to do a colonic before and after, because
Now, is that doctor supervised?
so this is the thing. There's a colonic place that I went to personally,
Okay.
and it's a very thorough cleaning of your entire intestines. It does take, if it's your first time doing a colonic, just so people are aware, it takes about 3 sessions for them to clean your entire intestines. But there is a lot of times we have parasites, and you see those parasites coming out too. So that's also feeding into the equation of the
Right.
disbalance. So you want to clean your colon before, so that when the stones pass, they can pass, clearly without
Clearly.
obstruction.
Yeah.
And the one after is super important, because many times these small stones, they can get stuck in the crevices of your internal wall.
Right.
And a lot of times they'll reabsorb into the bloodstream, and that'll cause more further toxicity into your bloodstream. And from there, you can vomit, you could feel sick, you can get ill. So that's why it's super important to do it. It's 2 days after. Clean all of that out, and you're also cleaning your colon, which is a whole nother thing that needs to be addressed. And when you're detoxifying and cleaning out your body, so that you can fill it with things that are going to be beneficial for you.
Yeah. So you really want to make the changes in diet along with this.
It
Right.
goes hand in hand, because if let's say you're a heavy drinker, and your liver's been taking a toll, and you do these flushes, and then
Right.
you go back to drinking, it's just, what's the point?
So let's do this. Let's get back. Let's get into now the acid alkaline thing, which we've talked about before, which is so important. And that's really what people are going to need to learn, is the difference between acidity and alkaline foods. Would you show the book one more time so that people get it? Okay. So The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush, and the name is Andreas Martis. And if would you say that most people, if you just really follow this book thoroughly, you can do it yourself?
Yes, that's what I did. It takes discipline and it takes willpower. You have to have the two. You can't be lazy, and you can't make one misstep. And I am a very disciplined person, but even I did a misstep one time. Like on the day of the flush, you're not supposed to eat eggs. And I had one egg just to be a little cheat and be like, oh, nothing will happen. I ate that one egg, and it was, let me tell you, I got so sick and I got so ill during the flush. It was highly unpleasant.
Okay, so you want to follow the rules to.
Yeah, to the T.
And how long did that process take? How many months?
18 months.
18 months.
That goes. It's supposed to go until no more stones come out.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, all the stones for 18 months coming out? It's crazy.
So would you say that your case was probably more extreme than most?
Yes, because I took 3 rounds of Accutane, and Accutane does not process.
Okay. So it was worse for you because of the Accutane. Your body was also having to get rid of the Accutane and the impact of the Accutane.
And all the other prescriptions. So all these prescription medications, the filter doesn't know how to process it. It's all of this stuff, a lot of processed foods. The liver doesn't have the capacity to process it, so it all just stays accumulating in there. So even if it wasn't Accutane, even if, let's say, you've been taking a high blood pressure medication for years, or antidepressant medication, that also will feed into it. And of course, if you're do McDonald's and Baskin Robbins, all of that's going to feed in too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for most people, it wouldn't be 18 months then.
So it depends. In the book, people actually go up to 2 years, believe it or not, because it depends on age. The older you are, I did it when I was 27, but the older you are, usually the more you'll have. Especially, there was one in the book that they talk about. He had it was some form of cancer. I think it possibly was liver cancer or something, and it took him 2 years straight.
Okay.
Straight 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, but it cured it.
It did. It cured his cancer, yeah.
Yeah.
It cures, that's another thing, is this cures so many of the incurable diseases that they
diabetes. I'm sure it would take care of diabetes.
Diabetes were cured. People in here with AIDS were cured, documented on the record.
Amazing. So let's go into the acid alkaline to tell people about the importance of that as well.
Absolutely. So people, let's say they're like, okay, I want to start raising my vibration and eating foods that are going to aid in my evolution. How do I do that? What do I know what foods are good and not? Mm-hmm. And it's very simple. You don't want to get into the protein and the carbs and the this and the that. No. Alkaline versus non-alkaline. So everything that is a 7.0 below is acidic on the pH scale. 7.0 above is alkaline. All the foods and the drinks that you consume, you want to have them on a 7.0 and above. Your body wants to be in a pH state, preferably from a 7.2 to an 8.2. They have pH strips that you can buy on Amazon very cheap, and you just can dip your pee into the strip and it'll tell you immediately your pH, and that's how you can keep track. So what is alkaline? What isn't alkaline? Very simple. Let's say, very simple example. Let's say I take a apple and an orange and I crossbreed them, and that gives me a banana. This banana will be hybridized. And anything that is hybridized, crossbred, like dogs are hybridized, is going to have a starch base. If you YouTube starch digesting in the system, what it looks like, it just looks like a white mucus. And so starch is mucus, which is acidic. And not only does it eat up at your cartilage, it gives you arthritis. It makes your joints like squeaky. You know, it's sucking out all that lubrication and hydration. So you want to, and it creates mucus on the coat. So if you have an accumulation of mucus in your brain, you could have Alzheimer's, short-term memory, dementia problems. If you have an accumulation of mucus on your lungs, you have bronchitis. So our body is an electrical system. It communicates electrically through sending signals. So if you have a large accumulation of mucus in a specific area, you're impeding the communication between the electrical signals. And then that goes, you know, just it's a chain reaction, and then it goes affecting this and this and this. So you want to clean out all the mucus in your body through a heavy detox, through what we're speaking of, and then go into alkalinity. So everything that is alkaline is non-hybridized. It's things that have seeds in them. And they're wonderful for the body. It's just, there's many fruits. And then don't Google alkaline versus non-alkaline. They know that this is how you cure the body. So of course, there's tons of disinformation out there. And many of the foods that they're saying are good for you and that are alkaline are actually acidic. And Dr. Sebi, who is another amazing healer, who proved in the Supreme Court that you could cure cancer and all of these diseases through putting the body in an alkaline environment. He has a nutritional guide. It's free on the internet. You can put Dr. Sebi nutritional guide. And he researched throughout many years, finding the foods that are alkaline versus non-alkaline. He also has many videos on YouTube about this. And you just follow that nutritional guide and you are good to go.
So Dr. Sebi, which is S-A-B-E, correct?
S-E-B-I.
Okay. Dr. S-E-B, what is it? S-E-B-I.
I.
Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi, S-E-B-I. So everyone, that is where you want to go and get Dr. Sebi's guide to alkalinity. Now, I think you would agree with this. I spoke a long time ago at the North American Vegetarian Conference and met the man who wrote Milk the Deadly Poison. And that dairy, in his research, he proved that the average male who eliminates all dairy within a month will lose 13 pounds of mucus.
Wow. Yeah, that's not surprising.
So that doesn't surprise you. So
yeah.
you would agree with that dairy is one of the things to avoid.
It's insane. And it's crazy. And once you start to see and you start to learn about these foods, and your body will start to feel the difference. Mm-hmm. Our whole diets that we're used to and that we're brought up on, it's a diet to create disease. Right.
It's almost all acidic. And so refined sugar also, right?
Yeah, like white sugars, all of that. They're great alternatives to sweeteners and all of this. Agave is alkaline. It's low glycemic. There's great alternatives that you can supplement with. Oh, I know you wanted to talk about Irish sea moss as well.
Yes, right.
So so for people that are having, a lot of knee pain and joint pain, as we get older, we start to experience these things. You want to take Irish sea moss, and you can get it. I think it's called Alkaline Herb Shop.
Yeah, that's what I have down here. Alkaline Herb Shop, wild crafted, right?
Wild. Make sure to get it wild crafted. Irish sea moss, which is something Dr. Sebi raves about. It has, I believe, 98 of the 102 minerals that our body needs. It's phenomenal. It has so much calcium. It rebuilds bones. it just it's phenomenal. And like this woman, she broke her pelvis, an older lady. She took Irish sea moss for 3 weeks, and she was able to start walking again. And I've been giving it to my dog who tore his ACL. He's now starting to walk again. It's phenomenal.
Amazing. Okay, so Irish sea moss, alkaline herb chop, and you went wildcrafted. And that, in addition to Dr. Seavey and his guide on alkalinity and acidic, and his amazing, well, his book, right? No, the book was by somebody else. The book, The Amazing Liver Flush, was Dr. Seavey too?
No, Andreas Martis. This is him.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Martis. Okay. Now, when I worked with Dr. Young, in general, we would say this: you want to eliminate dairy, you want to eliminate red meat, alcohol, okay, as much as possible, okay, and refined sugar, and then you want to replace that with more greens. He loved avocados. He always said he would eat 7 or 8 avocados a day.
Avocados.
I don't eat that many, but I eat at least 2 or 3 avocados a day.
Nice.
And again, that's the seed, got the seed in it. But leafy green, mostly leafy green vegetables, but not spinach, right?
Yeah, spinach is hybridized.
Yeah.
And spinach is kind of puny when it comes to, for example, moringa. Moringa has 20 times the amount of, I believe, calcium that spinach does. So there's other foods out there that are just way more beneficial and nutrient dense.
Okay, so anyway, I think we've really covered this well. There was one other thing in my notes here that you mentioned was moringa and tea tree oil and olive oil. Was that it?
Oh, grapeseed oil. Yeah, when you're cooking on high heat, grapeseed oil is alkaline, and it's definitely the best oil to cook with.
That's very important. So not olive oil then, right?
No, preferably you don't want to have olive oil at a high heat.
Okay, so grapeseed oil is the best one for cooking with heat.
Yeah, it's got that in the nutritional guide too.
Okay, excellent. I think we've pretty well covered it. I want you to know that the advice you've just heard, I think, is amazing advice. Everything I've studied for the last 50 years leads me to believe that everything that Juliana has explained today is right on and will make a huge difference. And her story is undeniable. So I didn't realize you had the acne until 27. That's really a killer. That's in your whole early 20s and mid 20s.
Since I was 12 years old. Like, think about that. It's a nightmare.
It's amazing. It's amazing. That is an amazing story.
But now the benefit is that I've got all this knowledge and I've been sharing it with so many people, and I've been able to help so many others.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
I want to show, if you go to oxnelia.org, which is Juliana's website, Oxnelia, OXNYLIA.org, you will see some of her amazing devices and cleansing issues. And she has this one, which I actually tried, which was this bucket. She calls it an anti-nano bucket. I just want to show you a picture of it here. And I've done this, and I'll explain my experience to you. Okay. Okay. Okay, can you see that? Yes, okay, so that's what it looks like. And it's a bucket, like a 5-gallon paint bucket, right? And it's got copper wire wrapped around it. And then it's got these two little hooks here. And then that attaches to a computer battery with 2 little hooks. You make a complete circuit, and then you put, let's see, what was it? It was vinegar, white vinegar, right? White vinegar, distilled water, and a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of Epsom salt. And she explains exactly what those are when you buy this device. And then you soak your feet in here for 45 minutes, once or twice or 3 times a month. And it brings out all the impurities that we pick up in the atmosphere, in the air, from whatever, from pollution, from pesticides, from chemtrails, from all these different sources that are getting into our system and making us sick and making us ill, and that we really have a very difficult time getting rid of, right?
Yes. What's so special about this bucket? By the way, I did not invent this. This was created by Tony Patanrello. He went very famous with this bucket, but he doesn't want to remake it. He just wants people to figure out how to make it for themselves. So I've just figured out how to do that. And so many people wanted it, but they didn't want to take the time to make it. So I provided that need in the market. And basically, what's so special about it is that it's one of the few things so far that we found that's able to successfully remove the nano that gets thrown into our atmosphere with the chemtrails. The chemtrails is a whole nother issue that we're dealing with. And there's massive amounts of mercury, barium, yellow fungal spores, aluminum, and the nano, which
Right.
tiny little black dots, they look like tiny little chips, and they can send and receive signal. So many times when people have a lot of nano in their body, they have ringing in the ears, and that is the nano sending and receiving signal. And that is in direct correlation with them bringing out all of this high radiation. So ideally, it's like they want to kind of get us, it's like a microwave, with the nano and all the heavy metals that are converging and interacting with the high amounts of radiation that's building every day now with this 5G and everything. So that basically, it pulls all of the metals out. They usually will float to the top, and then the nano always sinks to the bottom. I've got a video showing that in real time. You just put your flashlight over the top, and then you see all of the sparkles, because what they do is they shred them out so it looks like powder glitter.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I saw when I did it. And I put a really bright flashlight on it after I did it. I didn't quite see them until I put the flashlight in. And then when I put the flashlight on, I could see all the sparkles that you were talking about. And the nano, again, the little black particles had dropped to the bottom. So it was exactly what you said would happen. And
Yes.
I would think it's simple to do. It actually feels pretty good. And
And
yeah.
interestingly enough, I don't know exactly how this works, but it's been helping a lot with like inflammation and joint pain. I had a lot of severe knee pain, and I went in the bucket. I did one session and it was gone. It was pretty incredible. I don't know exactly how that worked out, but that's been helping too. There's also one more thing. So they put polymers, which are synthetic bindings, and you can Google or DuckDuckGo polymer, and you'll see it looks like a spider web. And it's these synthetic bindings, and they always want to bind to something. So these also come out in the bucket. And another way that you can successfully remove the polymers from your body is you take a little olive oil in a tablespoon, and you do 2 drops of pure tea tree essential oil. I recommend doTERRA because they really are 100% natural. You can take it internally. And the tea tree is excellent. It breaks up the polymers, and you literally see them coming out your back end. Like when you go to the bathroom, it looks like a spider web.
Amazing. Well, I guess that's a great thing to end on. Since it's coming out our end. But thank you so much. That was really an awesome interview. And I think you're going to help a lot of people this is saving lives, because, I think, there's a lot of suicides going on now with these lockdowns, but there's always a lot of suicides with young adolescents. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with that. One
of the main side effects of Accutane is suicide. And there's been so many people who have taken Accutane without knowing that have committed suicide. Yeah. So if you're out there and you can relate to my story, let me tell you, doing this flush, it will change your life. Just be disciplined, put in the work, and the work will yield results. And it's life-changing. I'll never go back. And I'm so grateful that I just was able to come across the information.
Wow, what an interview. Thank you so much. Juliana Posse, saving lives. One life at a time, but you're doing great work. Thank you so much. You honored us with your presence today.
Thank you. So happy to be here with you.
And thank everyone for coming today. We really appreciate your attendance, and good luck to you in this lifelong pursuit for health and wholeness. Thank you so much.
Thank you.